Class 9 Social Science Economics Chapter 2 People as Resource. Hi guys, I welcome you to my Schooling YouTube channel. We are going to discuss about the chapter People as Resource. What do you mean by people as a resource? People as a resource is a way of referring to a country's workforce in terms of their existing skills and abilities. Human capital formation. When the existing human resource is further developed by spending on making the workforce more educated and healthy, it is called as human capital formation. So children, can you see the picture of a teacher teaching here and people working in a bank and doctors doing their service? They are all resource. People as a resource. They have been given education properly, trained them up in a proper manner, and they have turned as a resource for the nation. Now, we were worrying about our growing population, isn't it not? Population could be turned as an asset for the economy rather than a liability. Population becomes human capital when there is investment made in the form of education, training, and proper medical care. Like other resources, population is also a resource, human resource. So we need not panic or worry. We can turn our country into a good population by giving them proper education, training, and proper medical health care. What is the positive side of population? By providing education, health care, training to the population, we can turn them into a positive resource. Negative side of population, we have to provide them food, education, access to health, safe drinking water, shelter facilities for overcrowding, job opportunities to be created for youth. These are the negative sides of population. Why should we invest in human capital? Because it is also going to yield and return us for the investment made. Investment in human capital through education, training, medical care yields a return like investment in physical capital. Good society is formed through educated, healthy population and income earned per head. That is per capita income. The income is more. Now let's discuss the story of Sakal. Sakal is from a poor rural family and he is being motivated to take up education. He completes his vocational course in computers. Though his mother was a domestic worker and his father an agricultural worker, he managed to study well. He got a job and he created a software which helped increase the sale of the firm where he worked. His boss appreciated him and rewarded him promotion. Story of Vilas. Vilas was a small boy whose father was a fisherman. When his father passed away, his mother had to sell fishes in the same village. As he was an arthritic patient and there was insufficient money, he was unable to take proper medical care and he was unable to continue his education. He had to discontinue. He also had to sell fish in the same village for a very meager amount. Children, by this time you would have understood that for gaining a better education, health is also very important. So, education and health. From these two stories, we can clearly understand that education and health are very important for a person to progress in life. Vicious cycle of poverty. What is vicious cycle of poverty? One overlaps the other and it leads to a chain of events and we come back to the same position where we are. We start from one position, one by one a lot of problems occur and back again we are to the same position. So what are the problems? Low investment, uneducated people, low earnings, less hygiene. Because of that, their low earnings, insufficient food, poor living conditions or unhygienic conditions. And because of all these things, They are followed by sickness. So a picture has been shown for you children regarding the vicious cycle of poverty. Can you observe? Because of poverty, economic deprivation, indebtedness, low education, unemployment, lack of basic amenities, inadequate housing, overcrowding. Because of all this, there is a social exclusion, high stressors, reduced access to social capital, safety is not there, malnutrition, obstetric risk, violence and trauma. All these leads to mental ill health, high prevalence, lack of care, more severe course, increased mortality. And because of all this, social drift, loss of employment, reduced productivity, increased health expenditure. Again, it leads to poverty only. So this is a cycle. It goes on and on. There is no stop for this until and otherwise they are able to educate themselves properly and come out of this. Now this is another picture which I have shown for you. The vicious circle of poverty and disease because of malnourishment, poor housing which leads to infection, loss of healthy life, because of that chronic morbidity, growth retardation, loss of educational possibilities, unrealized potentials, social stigma. Again it leads back to poor housing and malnourishment. This is how it goes on and on. Japan has less natural resources, but it has invested more in human resource. They are developed countries with more efficiency and technology. Now let us classify the economic activities into three main sectors: primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector. Primary sector. Primary economic activity. It refers to any kind of economic activity that involves collecting, extracting or harvesting natural resources. Example, fishing. A picture has been shown for you. Secondary sector. Industries which are involved in making more valuable and saleable goods from the products of primary activities. For example, cotton textile industry. Tertiary sector. Tertiary activities are service based and give non-tangible value to customers. For example, banks. Now, what all activities come under primary sector? Agriculture, forestry, animal husbandry, fishing, poultry, farming, mining and quarrying. Secondary sector activities, manufacturing. Tertiary sector activities, trade, transport, communication, banking, education, health, tourism, services, insurance. Market activities and non-market activities. Activities which gain income are called economic activities or market activities. They add value to the national income. Production of goods and services are considered as market activities. Non-market activities. They are the ones that are not undertaken for any monetary gain. They are for self-consumption. These are also called as unpaid activities. Example, housekeeping, helping the poor. Men and women labor. Due to historical and cultural reasons, there is a division of labor between men and women. Women generally take care of the domestic chores like cooking food, washing clothes, cleaning of utensils, and taking care of children. And by their activities, they do not earn income. Only when they enter the labor market, they earn income. Activities of women. Women are paid less when compared to men. Majority of the women have meager education. No awareness in our society regarding educating the women folk. Unorganized sector. Women are not secured. No equal wages for them. They are exploited for longer hours of work. There are no paid holidays. Sundays are also working days. No proper schedule of work time. no gratuity or retirement benefits, and there is no job security under the unorganized sector. So, organized sector is always better to work. Under the organized sector, educated women are secured, they have paid holidays, there is proper scheduled work timing, less exploitation, and as they are educated, they are aware. Medical allowances are being provided, gratuity pay and allowances are being provided, there is enough job security. Teaching and medicine attract women the most in organized sector. Quality of population. It all depends upon the literacy rate, health of a person indicated by life expectancy, and skill formation acquired by the people. What is education and why is it important? The process of learning by receiving systematic instruction through a school or university is called as education. What is the role of education? Most important component of human resource development is education. It contributes towards the growth of the society. What is health and why is it important? The state of being free from injury is called as health. It is a very important component of the human resource development. Efficiency of the workers largely depend on their health. Now a very important topic we are going to discuss about unemployment. What is unemployment? People without work or those who are unable to find out work or those who are actively searching for employment is termed as unemployment. They have the ability to work but unable to find work at present. We can say that people are willing to work at the prevailing wage rates but they cannot find jobs. We refer to those in the age group of 15 to 59 years. Children below the age group of 15 years are not considered while counting the unemployed. What are the consequences of unemployment? Leads to wastage of manpower source, that is we are wasting the manpower. Though we have manpower, we do not gain anything out of that. People turn into a liability because they do not produce anything. Feeling of hopelessness and despair for the person who is unemployed. It tends to increase economic overload. Dependency of the unemployed over the employed increases. General health status declines due to bare subsistence. That is, they do not have money. With whatever money they have to eat their food. That will not pave way for a good health. They are withdrawn from school. Social unrest and tension prevails. Nature of unemployment in India. Seasonal unemployment and disguised unemployment. What is seasonal unemployment? When people are unemployed for a certain period of time in a year because they work in some specific industries where they are not needed all through the year or they work in farms as farm laborers, it is termed as seasonal unemployment. During off-season, they face this problem. What is disguised unemployment? People are visibly seen as employed but are actually unemployed. This is also known as hidden unemployment in economics. It actually refers to a situation wherein the number of workers in a job is more than actually required to do the job. The extra number of workers are disguisedly unemployed. Such kind of unemployment arises due to excessive pressure of population on agriculture. For example, if 5 people are needed to work on a particular piece of land, 10 people would be working. The extra 5 people are called as disguised unemployed people. They seem to be working, but actually if you move them out also, the work will be done properly. There is no change. So if you move them and if you move them to any productive work, the family would gain extra income. This is called as disguised unemployment. So which sector absorbs more labor? Agriculture. Agriculture is the most labor absorbing sector of the economy. So children, we have come to the end of this chapter. Hope you guys would have understood and enjoyed my video. Please like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. Press the bell icon. You will be notified every single time when I upload new videos. Thank you.